Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ruffians episode 2 on the Role4Damage channel. I see there's a bunch of people in chat already hanging out with us. It's so good to see. We've got all of our players and everything here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in one moment. I just need to do a couple of thank yous and shout outs first. First of all is, of course, to our amazing artist, Brepai. You can see there's a link down below. You can see she does all the character artwork and stuff for the channel. Sloop is up there right now with his mean little rapier and a little hook tail. I also want to shout out Wonders and Blunders, which is a bit of shameless self-promotion. This is a podcast that myself and Mike are on. I'll let him talk about it a little bit more. Also, our partner channel, Nerds of the West. They're a Western Australian group who does board games, and they play Doom on a Guitar Hero controller, and they do all sorts of great stuff. They play in some of our other games on the channel. They're great. And boy, I think that's it. I hope that's it. We also have merch. There's a link for that down below. It's really nice. My name is Agent Number 1, also known as Kieran. I am the DM for this lovely game, and I also play here a couple nights a week on Australian time, Mondays and Fridays. And now this is Friday night for all of us, but it's in the weird off slot where it's like Saturday morning in Australia. We're really excited about it anyway. I think I've rambled enough. I'm going to pass it down the line. We're going to start over with Sean.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sean. I am from the ParadiceRPG channel. We play an actual play every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our flagship show, Advantage in Paradise. I'm sure Shannon will talk about a few more of our projects coming up, but that's our main one. And I play Django Weatherby Teague, and I'm excited to be here tonight again. You can find me on social media, Twitter, at Odo_Sean. But yeah, excited to be here again tonight. Super excited.
That'll lead us right into Shannon.
All right. Hi, friends. My name is Shannon. I am also over at Paradise RPG. I play Scarlet, our rogue. And yeah, Sean said we play on Monday nights at 7. We also have our Tim and Shannon Power Hour on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern, where Tim and I chat with people from the community and we speculate about where we think our story's going. Sean has better internet now. Amazing. So he is working on getting his DM's Corner show up and running. So hopefully that will be starting soon. And you can also find me on Twitter, SRB25, Instagram. That's my handle too. Yeah, happy to be here too. I play Lydia. I forgot that last week too. Yeah, I recently discovered my love for monks, and I play Lydia Ray, who is a snarky monk with a passion for captaining her own ship someday.
Brilliant. And let's pass it across over to Shelby.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm from the channel Wystle While You Work. I just tell stories of my D&D antics and draw whatever comes to mind, usually D&D related. You can find me on YouTube at Wystle While You Work, Wystle spelled Wystle. You can find me on Twitter at WhistleWis, or you can find me on Instagram at Wystle While You Work. And I am playing Era Blackwood, who is words. Wow, I'm failing this. She is a necromancer, and that's all you really need to know about her.
And finally, our kobold so bold, Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike Friday. I'm the DM for the Wonders and Blunders podcast. We just started into our 50th-ish episodes. We've been going for a year now, so check us out at wonderandblunder.com. We release new episodes every Monday. We are an actual play podcast with kind of a horror comedy, but it's the cutest family in the world going through a horror comedy, so definitely check it out. And I play Sloop Brinescale, who is a kobold pirate. He likes to sneak and steal and bite.
All right. And so getting right to it. Does anybody want to volunteer to do a recap of last session? No. Okay. I'll put you guys on the spot this week, so I'll leave you be. So in the last session, our very first episode, this group of pirates had recently arrived in the town of Adrithel. where they had been tasked by the king of a nearby army, basically to mess up the town and well, just like so kind of chaos and havoc and everything else, so that when the army shows up, they'll have no problem taking the place over. The group got off the boat, headed towards a local tavern to meet a contact of theirs named Creek, who they had no problem finding and figuring out his name, and then promptly getting themselves into a massive pirate bar fight within the tavern. Sloop stole some invitations from a butler to an upcoming party. He got caught doing it by a group of pirates who just started wrecking the place. Era was upstairs talking to Creek, their contact. Django was playing a song and just getting himself into all kinds of trouble. And Lydia was just beating the living tar out of every single thing that came at her. After a successful brawl in the tavern, things settled down. They gathered their equipment, learned about a boat nearby, a warship nearby, that was smuggling something into the Aaron family warehouse, a family of elves that is one of the merchant princes, one of the merchant trade families in the city. So they set off down the streets, found themselves the warehouse, and hatched a plan to get inside. The plan ended up being, after a bit of deliberation, that Sloop was to climb a tree and jump in through a window, which he did with surprising grace. And I believe like a 26 stealth roll. It was really good. And yeah, when we left off, he had just landed inside of a office. So, Sloop, inside this room, you find a small administrative office. Sea charts and maps of nearby waters dot the walls above tall bookcases filled with ledgers and logs. On the western wall, 2 portholes overlook the street, the ones you climbed in through, with a large oil painting of a sea battle hanging between them. A desk with cramped chairs sits in the middle of the room, and atop it sits a stack of mail, a collection of drafted letters, a vase of flowers, a lit candlestick with only a few hours left, and a variety of writing implements. Flickering lights can be seen through the office door's window, and some muffled conversation can be heard in the distance. You are the first one in this office, as your party is outside.
Okay. Yeah, Sloop looks around at all the papers and he's like, oh, I hope this doesn't involve reading. And then I'm going to take out a rope and can I tie it around, like, is there, like, does the desk look heavy?
The desk is quite heavy, yes. Yeah, it's kind of a large office administrative desk made out of some pretty old, sturdy wood.
So I'm going to tie the rope around the desk and then huck the rope out the window down to everybody below.
Okay. Can I get you to make a sleight of hand check to see how sturdy you tie this knot?
You sure can.
And Producer Veg, I think we can swap over to the map right now so they can see where they are.
So that is a 15.
A 15, okay. So with some pretty deft work, and I'm going to allow you to keep that 26 stealth roll for now. You quickly tie the rope around one of the legs of the table, and the group outside, you see Sloop go in, 15 seconds pass, 30 seconds pass, and then a bundle of rope comes flying out the porthole down towards your feet.
Well,
that was fast. Shall we?
After you.
All right. I go up the rope.
I suppose someone should stay out here just to keep an eye out on any passerbys or...
Are you volunteering yourself, Mr. Teague?
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. I will keep an eye out here for any trouble. And I'll message you if I see anything.
Perfect. Know we can count on you.
You did.
Of course I did. Very trustworthy, despite features.
Oh, I've got great eyes, mate. I can see anything.
Depends on the day.
You didn't seem to see the bottle coming out your face, so.
Oh, I was distracted.
So Lydia and Ira, you're both going up the rope?
Yep.
Can I get stealth checks from the two of you?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say strength for a second. I was going to die.
Yeah. Still
And-
going great.
Can I get either athletics or acrobatics checks from you? Because
Oh.
unlike Sloop, who has that second story work ability, which allowed him to so deftly climb the tree with ease, you do not.
Acrobatics isn't terrible, but ooh, that's stealth.
19 and 14 on the acrobatics. Yeah, neither of you have any trouble getting up this rope. It is fairly dry wood, and as I said before, it is the side of a ship. So as it goes up, kind of past the first story, it does start to slant up towards the roof, the hull. With that stealth check, though, okay, good to know. So yeah, Ira, sneaking into places doesn't really seem like it's necessarily, you're a little out of your element here, and you find that like your foot is sliding a bit, but you're able to get into the window with a bit of noise and a bit of ruffle.
Could I keep an eye out outside just for any sort of patrols or anything I could see that would potentially be a danger to them?
I will. I'll get you to start with a perception check.
Cool.
Now, the night currently is quite foggy, and even this 200-foot warehouse, it's hard to really see. You know, you're at one end, kind of near the entrance, but it's you can just kind of make out the far end of the warehouse.
Okay. All right, perception it is. All right, not bad. 19. 19.
Yeah, you hear some noise from inside the courtyard behind the gate, but nothing immediately that you're able to pick out.
Okay. I'll just generally keep an eye out, and if I see anything or hear anything, let them know.
The three of you are inside the office.
Well, do we hear anything from the ruckus I caused getting into the window?
You hear kind of a bit of conversation happening from where you are. You can hear a muffled conversation. It seems like it's maybe through a couple doors or some walls, but you can't quite pick out anything that's being said. It seems to be general conversation.
Okay, but it doesn't seem like somebody's like alarmed or...
Not immediately, no.
I'll start going through the papers that are on the desk, see if there's anything important there.
Sure.
I'll join her.
Okay, I'll allow you to make, either you can both make an investigation check, or one of you can make it with advantage.
Take the advantage.
What's your mod for investigation?
Investigation, plus 3.
Oh, you do it.
Okay. 15.
15. Yeah, as you're sorting through the different letters and scraps of paper on the desk, you're not quite sure what is valuable and what is not. You do pick up what looks to be a ledger containing kind of some of the comings and goings of the warehouse, and you also find yourself a half-drafted press release concerning the recent disappearance of Pipper Aaron, who vanished without a trace 1 week ago. And it states that the family is working with the other merchant princes to discover who might be targeting nobles in the town.
So Aaron was the name of one of the merchant families, right?
Yes, you are in their warehouse.
So I'm just making sure for notes. I'm just gonna kind of nudge Lydia with the press release.
Oh, what'd you find?
Draft looks like one of the Aarons went missing. Trying to find out who's. Apparently, seems like someone might be targeting nobles. At least that's what this says.
Well, if that's the case, then the masquerade might be a big target.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's helping us do our work for us.
That's what it sounds like.
The ledger. Would I have to spend time going through it, or can I like flip to like some of the most recent dates? Or
if you would like to make a additional investigation check on the ledger, I will allow you to do one.
Oh, that was 6.
Yeah,
no.
you skim through the ledger, and it seems like it's fairly boring administrative. It's like, oh, we received a shipment of fruit, 8 barrels of fruit showed up on this day and then went out with this wagon on this hour and this evening. And then, oh, we took in, some salt from a vessel and like blah, blah, blah. And you're going through it, and it's all just kind of blending and blurring together, and you're not really being able to pick out any distinct pattern.
Well, I'm going to pocket it anyway because I'd like to take a closer look at it later.
It is a big, like it's a merchant ledger, so it takes up like one. It's like the size of your torso.
Okay, cool. I don't think I have anything that makes this easier to carry. All right, never mind. I'll just leave it. It doesn't seem to be important.
Sloop, while they are rummaging through the papers on the table, what are you doing?
Sloop has reached into his bag and pulled out some of his signature Sloop goop. And having felt all of the splinters dragging around between his scales from getting hit with a chair in a bar fight, he's going to heal for 2d8.
Okay.
With the goop.
So Django, outside, you are
Nice.
Leaning, coolly looking against a building. Every now and then a group of sailors walk by, and you give them a little nod, and they give you a wink, nod down, nod up sort of thing. And you do notice that there are some guards kind of occasionally coming out to where the gate is at the entrance and taking a bit of a look outside, but they don't seem too interested or occupied. They don't really notice you out there immediately.
Where is the gate on the map?
The gate is just it's like on the far right side of the map. You can see there.
Oh, okay. So like I'm on the corner and they're on the other side. Okay, cool.
We have temporarily lost Shelby.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, no.
Said internet. Should be able to be back soon.
Okay. Can we? We're all in funny camera spots now, too.
Weirdly enough, Django still works.
Yeah, right.
I'm almost there. I could just sort of creep.
It's my show now.
Just lean to one side a little bit.
And go rogue mode. And go full.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Hey! Hey!
Oh, no. Oh,
no.
Get out of there.
If I lean this way, do I become the dungeon master? Oh, shit.
Maybe.
It looks
Yeah,
like
there
part
you
of
go.
Sean's room is in my room, too.
Oh, too far.
Oh yeah, I've got just a little piece of my room in there.
Oh, on the other side.
Oh, you can touch hands, maybe.
Yeah.
It's all cast bardic inspiration now.
No, it's
Yeah,
this
right. Where's where is it? Nope, I get it.
Wait,
Where's my
I
hand?
Oh,
There it
wait.
is.
All
Oh,
right.
too far.
Good high five effort there.
Um,
We'll continue on a little for now,
yeah.
without getting too far. Oh, there she is.
Hey.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome back.
My Wi-Fi died on the laptop. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We noticed and we gave each other hilarious high fives as all the cameras moved around. You have not missed a thing, I don't think. What was the last thing you heard?
Sloop was using his Sloop goop.
Sloop was scooping. Yeah, Sloop was scooping, and
Yeah.
Django is outside. He's noticed a few guards kind of poke their heads out to the gate and look around.
I'd like to sort of see if I can get more of a look at the gate. Kind of step out, not too obviously, but just sort of step out and sort of pretend like I'm just sort of strolling about, going towards the water, looking out at the water on a late late evening after some drinks, just to see if I can get a better view of the courtyard.
So the courtyard is you can't quite see on the map because it does cut off, but it just goes a little. It goes a little bit further out from the entrance. I'll ping it here. It's next to this tree.
Oh, perfect.
So the gate is literally that very right spot.
Oh, okay.
It goes a little further past that and then down to the water's edge.
Okay.
So you can kind of walk around this stone wall.
I see.
You would be kind of in someone's side house alleyway.
Oh, okay. I really just want to kind of lean up against the tree and just sort of have a little bit better view. And just sort of lean up against it as if I am not a serious drunk on the street, but just sort of enjoying the nice breeze. Maybe I'll cobalt's abode and just stay out there keeping an eye out.
Yeah. So one of the guards kind of upon your song peeks out and sees you leaning, but with just you by yourself. Kind of minding your own business. He kind of gives you a look up and down and then goes back to his thing. You can hear a bit of whistling and the like inside, but unless you speak Elven or Galakash,
let me check. I do speak Elven.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
So you are able to pick up little bits and pieces of their conversation. You hear one of the guards saying to the other, like, there's just some drunk out there. Looks harmless.
Great.
You can also pick up a bit of muffled conversation coming from the balcony, where you guys do know that there were a couple of guards up on the balcony as well.
And the balcony is on this side of the or on the other side?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It is on this side. I can see.
And
yeah. So you can hear some noise coming from about there.
But I can't see them.
No, you cannot see them.
Cool. Great. Then I'll just stay here and keep an eye and ear out for any trouble.
Yeah. Office crew.
Well, there's a door here. Do we know if anybody's on the other side, or can we hear anything?
Yes, this door does have a kind of frosted glass window with those little triangles that you can kind of see through the bits and pieces of them. And on it, you can spot just south on basically there, as you leave this door, there's a door on your left that appears to go out to the balcony, a set of stairs on your immediate right, and then directly ahead of you, you see the back of a guard who is sitting at a desk reading a book. You can see a candle in front of him, and he seems to just be quietly.
How far away does he seem to be?
Oh, he is about 20 feet from the door.
Damn. Well, I can't do what I was going to suggest, because that's a 10-foot range. I was going to see if I could prestidigitation to snuff out the candle, but that's a 10-foot range. So I
would have to sneak a little closer.
Yeah, and I'm not good at that. So I think I'm just going to let Lydian sleep now. Just put my hand up to my mouth, hold up my finger to indicate there's one over there.
Sloop is just kind of idly changing all the numbers in the ledger. He just has the pen, and he's just scratching out numbers and putting in new ones, and he looks up and sees that there's someone outside the door, and he's like, oh, okay, and puts it down and sneaks his way over. And the door is closed though, right, between us and them?
The door is closed, yeah. Sloop, can I get you to roll a D100?
Oh, sure.
Oh, what did he just ruin?
Just because I'm assuming he's doing some general chaos to that book. 39. Okay, thank you.
Respectable.
I want to lean down to sleep and say, as quietly as I can you get the door open without causing a lot of noise? I have an idea.
You could with a stealth.
So yeah, I'll sort of slurp some of the excess sloop goop off of my wounds and just quickly grease the hinges with the goop. And then, quietly try to open the door.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose bag goo. Sure.
That's a 22.
22. With your goop in the hinges and kind of all around the knob, you kind of take a deep breath and slowly go to creak it open. And there's no creak. It just glides quietly. The guard does not appear to notice or move.
Can I take a peek around in this room? Is there anything else, like if I peek around the corner a little bit?
Yeah, like outside the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, so from the top of the door, you can, if you want to move your guy, I'll let you move kind of right there or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And you can see from where you are, it is a whole balcony that looks over the warehouse. The warehouse itself is quite dark. Even your dark vision does not penetrate kind of the full 200 or so feet of it. But you can see that down below there are a number of loading docks on the left, and then a long row of basically warehouse aisles and shelves that are filled with all sorts of sacks and bags and crates and all sorts of trade goods.
But this is the only guard that I see, is it?
This is the only guard that you see inside, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sloop slowly starts bringing his rapier out while looking at Era and Lydia.
Era,
What are we doing? What is the plan?
There's only one out there, and there's a candle.
More.
There's a candle that I can make go out, and
Right.
if we can quietly take that one down, we can look through this room because there's no one else in that room that I can see. So if we take
We
that,
should have talked about that before we opened the door.
I didn't know I'd be in here.
Do it.
Now that you have the door open, you can tell, with these open docks that are on the bottom side and kind of the current coming into the port, it is fairly loud inside the warehouse with just the rushing surge coming up and down and the large open hull of the ship. It does muffle some degree of noise, but not, the bloody screams of murder, for example.
Maybe we just
I'm not thinking. If he starts noticing, can either of you just knock him out? We shouldn't leave a body here.
I agree.
Yeah, you seem pretty good at just taking someone out in one shot, Lydia.
Would be my pleasure.
Outside, real quick, I'd like to cast Detect Magic, just in case, just to keep an extra eye, so to speak, out. As quietly as possible, kind of whispering into my hands and making it just to see.
You cast the Detect Magic, it goes off. You kind of see one of the guards poke out the door and look around, but then just see you, and he kind of pauses for a moment and is like, okay. And goes back in, and you hear them saying I thought I heard something. I don't know what I heard out there, but just that guy is lurking about. He's giving me the creeps. And as you look around, you don't notice any, even a fleck of kind of residual magic on anything out here.
Okay, so I would then sort of stumble off towards the edge of the side of the warehouse to no longer be in that view of the guards. Mm-hmm. And once past there and out of vision of the courtyard, but still keeping an eye on the gate, I'd like to cast a message real quick to Lydia and just say, "You've all been in there a long time. What's going on?"
We found there's one guard in here, and we want to look around a little more. So we're preparing to knock him out.
We're going to keyhole them, mate. All right, then be careful.
Just start singing loudly if something goes wrong.
Oh, don't worry, darling. I've got just the thing in case
I know
everything goes wrong. But you need to get out of there as fast as possible. If anything goes wrong, the guards outside do not suspect anything just yet.
Thank you, Mr. Teague.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Kobold is so bold.
Warehouse crew. You are hiding in an office doing that classic, like 3 heads around the corner. Looking at the back of this guy, when you hear a cling, 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 clang, clang coming from him, and you see him kind of lean forward and pick up a nail that has fallen out of his candle. And you see him go to the top of the candle with it, move down a couple of inches, and insert it in, at which point he gets up, closes his book, and picks up a lantern and begins to make his way towards the stairs.
Do we let him go or do we sneak up on him now?
Which way is the stairs? I can't see because of
Towards you.
Duck. Hide for now. If he pokes his head and it looks like he's going to cause trouble, I can put his light out. So I guess we're going to try and get in some of the darker corners just in case he pokes his head in.
Yeah. Can I get... Sloop, you've already made a stealth check with this door, so I'll let you keep that. But the other 2?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh no.
I prayed to the dice gods and they have abandoned me.
Pray harder, girl.
They were so mean to me yesterday too. I thought I'd already taken my punishment.
Yeah.
So you see this light coming closer and closer to the office as you all kind of duck behind desks and hide in shadowy corners. And you hear him kind of mutter to himself like, oh, why is the door open? In Elvish again. And he reaches forward and shuts the door. And then you hear him open the door to the balcony and say to the other guards, were either 2 of you in the office back there? No. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe the wind or the windows. I know these windows keep opening. And he closes. You hear the sound of that closing again. And after a moment, some quiet footsteps begin making their way down the stairs. The guard has not seen you, but he does seem to be on a little more alert than he was.
We shouldn't stay here much longer. That's too close.
I think did we get all the information that we needed to get?
We found the letter, which I don't think is worth taking it. We found this.
Yes. We've got the draft.
Press release.
Yes.
They want to know what they're smuggling in, right?
Yes.
Yes,
But I feel like... Is that going to be downstairs? That's probably going to be downstairs.
I would say
I don't think we're going to have a chance to look now. But we found looks like a blind spot for now. We can go back. We should make our way out before we cause any more trouble.
You hear the footsteps making their way down into the distance, down the warehouse.
I mean, he's gone. Are they maybe they're switching a watch or something. If we're gonna go, I think now's the time.
Can I
All right, let's
peek
go.
up?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Should we peek out the window first to make sure we're not about to drop in some guards? Or is Django? Django's not directly under the window anymore.
No, he moved. Well, we don't know that.
Yeah.
Looking out the window onto the street, you do not notice any guards like patrolling or anything of the sort out there.
Django would look up and be like, "Hey, what'd you find?"
I'll tell you when we get back.
immediately messages Era in her head. What'd you find?
We'll tell you when we get back. It's a lot.
Did you find a manifest? Anything about what they're shipping?
You don't have to answer him. Even though I know I can't hear you, but I heard
You
him
can
talk
respond to
about
this message.
it.
You just see her like thinking.
All right, wait. You best get down.
We found a press release. We'll talk to you when we get it down.
All right.
And yeah, we're all heading down.
Yep.
You're heading down.
I'll be out front, but I'm gonna have my badass sword out.
So as you peek back out the door, you can see further down the warehouse by kind of one of the empty docks. I'll let you guys kind of move out onto the balcony here. Let me see if I can get that on the screen right. Yeah, so you can see that the guard has kind of stopped and with his lantern is looking out into the waters. And he kind of pauses for a moment there. And you see him kind of taking a deep sigh and looking for something before he begins to turn and make his patrol back in your direction. So you have a brief window if you wish to do something.
We can get down those stairs and duck behind the box before he comes back. He'll walk right past us.
Just
Tiptoe
told
down
you
the stairs.
coming back.
Yeah. So you want to run down the stairs, take a dive in. Yeah. So feel free to I'm gonna move you to the lower map.
Are all of you going, or is it just Sloop and Lydia?
Era was heading towards the window, but I guess she's being dragged.
Oh no, we split the party.
Like Era was going out the window when this was happening. So.
Okay.
Oh, are you going out the window with the rope?
Yeah, I was trying to. That's
my apologies. My apologies. You can absolutely do that if you want to be on the outside.
I am clearly a hindrance to this.
Probably for the best with those rolls. we're distracted.
Turn around sometime.
Tango and Era.
my cloak just keeps getting caught on shit, knocking things over. I'm not a good sneaker.
So as you go out, can I get you to make a acrobatics or athletics check to get down the road?
Oh,
Come on, you can do it.
You hear down below, Django whispering up to you. You're gonna do it, love. You've got this.
I told you not to go.
I was about to give you bardic inspiration, but you already rolled.
I'm so sorry. I don't think bardic inspiration could have fixed that.
1d8 can do a lot. Wait, what did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Not that much.
On your way out, you just kind of take a few steps and the rope lets go against the desk. And you fall backwards off the building side towards Django.
Can I try to catch her?
Are you trying to catch her? Make a dexterity save.
Oh, okay.
All right, where am I? Dexterity save, okay.
We're both gonna end up with fucking broken arms.
It's all right. They already think I'm a drunk, and now I can just sort of like be like, yes, let's go. All right, dexterity save.
Nice.
All right, natural 20.
Very good.
Thank
Or
you.
not natural 20.
So the 7 damage you can split between the two of you from the fall. I'll let you split it 3 and 3, just to be kind.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get you guys a little more on camera here. Yeah, and you make a pretty big noise when this happens, and you hear a kerfuffle up on the balcony and in the courtyard as very quickly a couple of guards
stand up and slap me, love. Stand up and slap me across the face.
Gladly, and I'm going to brush myself off and slap him as hard as I can.
And I'm going to do a dramatic, fake, or not fake, because you actually slapped me, tumble into the street and just like Oh, you don't have to hit so hard, darling. And just try to play
Hands to
this.
yourself.
I will let you make either a deception or a performance check, and I will give you advantage for the assistance.
Oh, lovely.
I'm gonna leave that to him.
You said deception or performance?
Or yeah.
Oh, we're going performance.
Nice.
23.
Yeah, so you see these couple of guards kind of look over the balcony as they're trying to figure out what's going on, and another one kind of opens the gate and steps outside, and it's like, what the hell's going on out here?
Django's trying to stand up slowly. Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, mate. She just didn't like my advances, and what's a bard to do? I will make my leave.
Era just looks.
Take your lover's quarrel somewhere else here, okay?
Certainly,
Private
mate.
property. Move off.
in his dreams, and I start to walk.
So bold. And I will start to walk away across the street.
Brilliant. So the guards kind of, you see one of them on the balcony is kind of taking a look out towards you, but the one at the gate goes back inside. The one at the balcony does kind of keep an eye to see that you two clear off, as he says. Back inside the warehouse, Lydia and Sloop, you have a guard making its way back on his patrol towards you. As you two, are you ducking into just a random area, alleyways?
Yeah, I think down this alleyway here is where Sloop was going to go.
Yeah. And I'll follow behind him.
Okay.
Do we want to try and take him out, or are we just going to let him pass?
Maybe once he sees us, we can strike back.
It's a good plan.
Get you both to make stealth checks.
He did utter my favorite last words, though, which is, "It was just the wind."
Oh, 15.
You see this guard make his way through, and as you guys are quite close to the bottom of the stairs here, so you can see as he comes around to the stairs, this lantern pass by, and you see he's quite an older gentleman. Even for an elf, he is he's not a senior, but he is getting up there in age, but he passes his way across and up the stairs. You can see him sitting back at his desk, where he sits down, grabs his book again, fluffs it out, and begins reading.
All right. We should get this done as quickly as possible. Do you want to go check, I don't know, one end and I'll check the other for something that looks out of place?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So then I will go over here and I will rummage around there and see if there's anything.
Okay.
There.
And I'm going to check these boats.
Okay, so there's actually, the map is a little bit of a lie. That boat on the right is not there. There is only a boat in the middle at the moment.
Okay.
I will get you both to take investigation checks. It will take some time to perform an investigation in the warehouse.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, hotshot.
Well, you did a
Lydia.
lot better than I did. Yeah.
Lydia, did you use your bardic inspiration you had before?
Did I? I don't remember.
Because I did give you one earlier.
I think
But
I did.
honestly, by this point, it's probably worn off.
Yeah,
Actually. Yeah, it's probably been 10 minutes
definitely meant to. When did you give it to me?
before you went in. So you probably it's gone.
Okay.
Lydia, you go to this small area near the front that you notice is kind of near like a sleeping quarters wouldn't be right, but it seems like it's a little like restroom staff office for some of the guards on patrol, and also serving as just a general unorganized storage area for recent things that are maybe coming in or going out or whatnot. It doesn't seem as well organized as the rest of the warehouse. And as you're going through, it just there's kind of a little bit of everything in here, and nothing particularly sets out. Unfortunately, with your terrible roll of under 5, you're kind of piling, and you're looking for something valuable, and as you move a section of bags, you just see 2 red beady eyes staring back at you.
Right.
And you hear squeak, 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 and a chitter of like rats just start piling out of where you are.
And I'll just like back up.
Slowly make your way back south. You do kind of, from where you are, you're right underneath the balcony overhang, and you see the guard lean out with his lantern and take a look. But where you are kind of on a broken line of sight, he kind of sees the rats, and you hear him just say, like, these goddamn pests are everywhere. And goes back to his book. Sloop, you jump into this boat and begin rummaging around in it. The boat seems, at first kind of glance, fairly empty. It looks like it has probably been recently unloaded. But with your 25 investigation check, you find a hidden compartment underneath one of the seats. Out of it, you pull a small, ornate, locked chest made of blackened iron, smelling of sulfur.
Oh, this looks juicy.
Yeah, I'll sort of tuck that, or I guess just hug it close and hop back over.
I'll have been walking towards your way, so I'll meet you halfway while you're walking back.
Yeah. And so I come up just sort of holding this and like...
I don't know if this is it, but it looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. That looks like it does not belong here. Let's go.
So it takes you some time to doing this investigation. It takes you a bit of time for this, during which, as you kind of meet and you're hushing in around the middle, you hear that familiar clang, 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 and you look up to see that guard picking up a nail, measuring out a couple inches on the candle, and putting it back in, at which point he stands up, grabs his lantern, and begins his patrol again. You estimate that approximately 15 minutes have passed.
Sloop is just like hopping and looking for a place to hide. And I guess...
Are these shelves that are along the, you can't see what I'm pointing at, but along the top here? What are those?
Up around here?
Yeah. What are those?
So those are all
rectangles?
like aisles full of like warehouse shelving, basically.
Okay. So they're tall?
They're quite tall. They're full
Okay.
of stuff. They go
Okay.
up, 20 feet or
All
so.
right. All right. Come on. Go hide.
So outside, while this is going on, you guys have been out there for about 15 minutes after falling out of the window, and you haven't heard much of what's going on inside.
I would rejoin with Era after kind of performing that, walking away.
We're like, out of the guard's sight.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's going on in there? Why aren't they out?
Hold on. I'm having internet issues again. God, I hate this laptop. Okay, could you repeat that, please?
Yeah. What's going on up there? Why aren't they out yet?
God, it did it again.
No, Django is silent to me.
1 second.
Is everyone silent to me?
Everybody is now
Zoom is having a
silent,
nice
and I
time
cannot
here.
hear a thing.
Oh.
Okay. Right as you started talking, I lost it again. Cool.
This is not you. This is Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom's having some
Did it
issues.
freeze
Zoom
for
is
anybody
having a
else?
lag. Yeah.
Yeah,
We all
froze.
froze for a hot second.
Oh, we lost
Hey.
Shannon.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Oh, good timing for. There we go.
Hey,
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Mhm.
we should be back to normal.
Oh no, I'm
now.
Lydia now though.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Shelby running the game now.
Oh no! Don't let me do that.
This is Shelby's show now.
Yeah.
No, don't let me do that. It'll
give
be
us-
a freaking
Give us 30 seconds.
disaster.
We're just going to hop on to Be Right Back and just switch out the cameras really quickly. We'll be right back. Hello. Sorry about that. Zoom has been having evening problems. I've noticed on weekend calls recently. So I think their system is maybe a little overloaded. But okay, so outside, Django and Ira, you just met back up, and you were like, "What's going on? Where are they?"
Yes. Django asked Arrow what's going on.
So I was causing a bit of noise. I'm not very good at this. So they went deeper inside. We did find this. I'm gonna kind of discreetly show the paper. It's a press release. Apparently one of the Aaron family members are missing. This is a drafted press release mentioning finding whoever's targeting the noble families. Knowing that there's a masquerade going on, seems like that could be a pretty big target either. Somebody could either be seems like somebody could either be helping us or this could be a problem.
Oh, well, I can't think that it would be anyone helping us, dear. I believe it's more likely one of the houses is taking out other families.
Can you imagine that getting out to the masquerade?
Oh, indeed. Well, but more importantly, right now, we need to find our mates and get them back.
Yes.
Our message.
They went deeper, and I didn't see how far they went in. As you can tell, not the best at this kind of thing. So.
All right, then. Well, we need to keep quiet out here. Real quick, did the rope completely detach from the
The rope's completely detached from the desk window, yeah. So it is spooled kind of at the base of the boat outside.
All right. We may need to reattach that rope. Or I can try to catch them like I caught you. Sloop might be no problem. Lydia will probably be fine. But we should go hang out by there. Keep an eye out for them. I'll message Lydia.
All right. God, I need to memorize what spells I have prepared.
I've got a big distraction ready if we need it.
I could potentially aid that if I need to. We can still set you on fire. That's still an option.
That's what we're here for, mate. We're the distraction. They're the recon team. But let's get back over there.
All right.
And I'll, as we're slowly walking back, hugging close to the, I'll message Lydia and be like, "What's going on in there, love? You need to get out of
Lydia,
there."
You're getting this about the same time that you see the guard coming down the stairs for his second patrol.
That was going to be my question. All I'm going to say back is, not now.
Fuck.
There was a guard up there. Might be too close.
I'll try again in a moment.
All right.
So Lydia and Sloop inside, you see this guard doing his patrol, as I will get you to, again, make stealth checks.
Oh, something's gonna give. Oh, not today.
Oh, okay, not today.
He seems to walk right by the aisle that you are in as you are pressed up against the far side, outside of the reach of his lantern light. You see seems more preoccupied looking out into the harbor itself. And this time around, you see when he stops at this far dock, he pauses for a moment, looking out, and seems to get a little jump in his step. And he puts the lantern up and begins putting his hand in front of it a few times. And then quickly moves back down in your direction towards the first dock, where you see in the distance from where you are a small rowboat making its way in with a lantern that goes out and begins heading. Well, it looked like it was heading in your direction. It's hard to see now that the lamp's gone.
Oh, maybe that's the real prize coming in.
I don't know. The chest you have there's pretty out of place here.
If I was smuggling, I would put it where I found it. But, oh, this is pretty juicy too.
We're definitely going to take it.
And
I don't think we can make...
This guard puts down his lantern as this boat comes into this. It's the northern harbor, but this one here on the right. And you see a boat come in, throw him a rope as two hooded figures step off of it and begin having a quick, muffled conversation.
Are we close enough to hear?
You're close enough to make a perception check.
That's what I really wanted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa! Nice.
That might do it.
On fire.
Double
Can I
nat
have some
20.
of that luck, please?
Look at that. Yeah, here, please, take it.
So, you hear this conversation that's spoken mostly in a human dialect, not an elven dialect. And you hear them talking about bringing in goods from the boat. You hear the two guys that come off say that they have 5 shipments to make. This is the first one. You see them pull the sheet off the top of the boat with 6 barrels inside that they begin lugging up and just kind of placing in the warehouse in and around kind of this area. They say to the guy, don't worry about it. We'll take care of tucking them away afterwards once we've got everything in. You also hear them have a conversation about how long it's going to take them. They say it's going to take about an hour per boatload, at which point the guard says, great, I'll make sure that the other guards are occupied and I'll check back in on every kind of flipped half hour.
Guards are occupied.
At which point the guard leaves the two to unload the boat, makes his way up the stairs and out onto the balcony. You hear the door close behind him.
So the two are at that first dock and they're unloading the boat. So like if we tried to move, they would see us.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if I can add them in here. There's one.
Ooh.
There's 2. There we go.
This is spooky.
So it's going to take them an hour to unload this boat, they said?
No, it's going to take them an hour between boat loads. So they'll have to go out, load up the boat, and bring it back to unload.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to be stuck there for an hour, potentially.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. All right. So
It only takes
wait.
them about 2 or 3 minutes probably to get these 6 barrels up, and just kind of along the edges. At which point, if you do nothing, you see them hop back into the boat, pull the sheet back, and push very quietly. They sail back outwards, and without lighting the lantern, just start rowing back out into the fog where they disappear.
I want to know what's in those barrels before
Oh,
we go.
me too. I'm so glad you said that.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
And we'll
Yeah,
go up.
You head over to the barrels, you crack them open, or crack the top off of one of them, and you see that they are filled with sand.
Sand. So potentially
Can I
something
start-
buried in it. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll start
Dig
digging.
a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll
make
keep-
an investigation check.
I'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
Sends barrels of sand.
At this point, Django would message back, thinking maybe the guard has passed, to Lydia. Just, what's going on in there?
We'll be out in a few minutes.
Let me know if you need a distraction.
Sloop, with your 26 investigation.
Wow.
All the
You-
rolls in
Dream
here today.
team right here.
You reach your hand in through the sand, and very quickly, within kind of the first feet, you hit a false top.
Oh, yes, you nailed it. Totally right.
And I'll just go full head and eyes into the front and just dig like a dog, just sand flying out,
Yeah.
and then throw that false top into the water.
Yeah, it
Subtle.
sails and makes a sploosh in where the boat was. But like a nice dolphin dive, doesn't make too much noise. It's drowned out by most of the noise in here. And as you pull that top out and the sand spills out all around you, you see and smell the unmistakable smell of gunpowder.
So Sloop just pokes his head back out the top, and his pupils are like full in his eyes, and he's like,
This is one of my favorite kinds of barrels.
What did you find?
It's gunpowder. Oh, it's
Oh,
so much gunpowder. Oh, it's the mother lode of gunpowder.
We can't take the whole barrel, but can you take something with you and then we can leave?
Yes.
and Sloop just starts filling up his pockets and is like scooping his bag and trying to like fill it up with as much gunpowder as he can.
Yeah, you're
It's
able
such
to
a
grab
mess.
a couple satchels of gunpowder. There is, it's kind of going everywhere, but you barely make a dent in the barrel.
And then like he's getting ready to go, and he just like steps out of the barrel, and he's just staring at Lydia, and he's like,
How much chaos should we be causing? We have a very unique opportunity.
I liked the way you think.
and then with that, like Sloop is going to take 2 handfuls, and as they're sort of walking back towards the stairs, he's going to create just 2 fuses by just like dropping some gunpowder along the floor.
What can I do to
Okay.
help?
You got anything to start a fire? I can't trust myself in these situations. I'm gonna get too excited.
I have a tinderbox.
So
And
if you
torches.
are planning to blow up this gunpowder, what I am gonna do is get you to initiate a skill challenge.
I'm so excited.
Sloop, you've already kind of stated you want to draw a trail of gunpowder. So what you choose to do that with is your choice. Something like a survival check or whatnot.
Okay.
Might allow you to make sure that the fuse is long enough that it doesn't blow you up in the explosion. But the way that this will work is I'll get each member of the party kind of in and around in circles, if you're unfamiliar with skill challenges, to make a unique
skill
skill
challenges.
check. You'll require so many passes versus so many failures. That will determine how well you succeed in this plan.
What kind of check was that? I'm sorry.
They can be any skill you want, basically at all. You just need to describe what skill you're going to use to help fortify the plan. So some examples might be like, you could do the survival check to make a long enough fuse. You could make perception checks to keep eyes on the guards, stealth checks to help stay quiet, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to give you all of them. I have a big list, but use your imagination.
That's what the game is about.
Okay.
Could I do like a straight intelligence just to say like, make sure that the distance is long enough that we won't blow ourselves up, but that I've put enough down in the fuses?
I would get you to make a knowledge check of some kind if you're
Okay.
going to do intelligence. it could be the knowledge of history would allow you to be like, oh, well, in times of warfare, they've used this to breach a wall or something like that.
Right. Maybe my history of blowing things up.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. So yeah, Sloop, you draw a line out with the gunpowder, leading it kind of to the base of the stairs.
But yeah, you don't want to make it too thin because it goes out part of the way. You don't want to make it too thick because then you just blow up. So I mean, it's,
I can tell you know a lot about this. Can I look where the boat just was, looking out onto the water? Would I be able to tell that if once we set this thing off, we'd be able to dive and swim back to wherever we needed to go? Or am I not able to see that far?
Yeah, make a well, I mean, what skill do you think you would use for that?
Would probably be perception.
I can think of a few. Yeah, if you perception, if you think you can, you could perceive kind of a path
Like
that
a
you might be
escape
able
route.
to take, and
Yeah.
your way, knowing your way in where the harbors were. Yeah, I'd allow a perception.
Yeah. I'm so nervous. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Ignore the second one.
Okay.
There's a moth on my computer screen. Hold on.
Not now, moth.
Django and Era outside, you also still get to participate in this.
Oh
Be
dear
they for
God.
making distractions or what?
Yeah. We're able to do things before we do the skill. Like, can I message?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna-
What the hell are we doing?
I message Lydia again and be like, we need to leave. What are you doing?
Suggest you get some clearance.
What can we do to help? Keep the guards off you.
We're not going to need to do that. Just get away. We'll meet you back at the name of the tavern. I can't remember.
The beggar and cask.
The
That one.
beggar and
Beggar and
cask.
What are you doing?
Some fireworks.
I'll look to Era and be like, well, Lydia was predictably vague on what they're doing in there, but she said there's going to be some fireworks and a big boom, apparently. So I think we need to make some space between us and the warehouse.
Hey, I think for once I agree with you. Yes. Assuming they're
Django.
not gonna need. Assuming they're not gonna need the rope, then I'm gonna scoop it up.
I don't think so. If they're planning on destroying the entire warehouse, which is what I got from that, I do think she said we don't need to distract anyone, but I think it might be helpful if we do some distracting, if they're blowing up the damn warehouse.
Well, specifically the guards up there, because they're already on alert. And I'm pointing towards the balcony where.
As you point up to the balcony, you see a guard lean over and go, "Hey, we told you to get the hell out of here. What?
Slap me again, love."
All right, I'll slap him again. But this time I'm going to prestidigitation to make it a little bit more,
Emphatic.
looking. Maybe some sparks. Yeah,
Let
some
me get you to
sparks
make
and
an
flames. Something that
Arcana.
makes it looks like it hurts.
Okay, so you could do like an Arcana check if you wanted for the
Sure.
skill.
I would love to. I'm good at those. Every time I say it, I jinx myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you lean back and you give this this slap, and Django, you don't really manage to sell it quite right. You react a little early from where the slap explosion is, and the timing seems to just be a little bit off.
Okay.
Well, Sandy.
Get out of here. I'm going to. Oh no! So, did it seem like they're gonna come check us out?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear some hustle in the courtyard for sure.
Okay. Where we are right now, is there alleyways nearby?
Absolutely, yeah.
Are they alleyways that connect into other streets, or are they just sort of house alley?
Yeah, so you're on kind of the main like water strip of the city. So it's mostly docks and warehouses and loading bays and stuff on your eastern side, and on your western side is where the rest of the dock district goes up, of which there's a number of alleys, a number of different extra streets that kind of continue that way.
All right, love, we need to go. Good.
Agreed.
I'm going to set off my own boom as we leave down this alley. Savvy?
All right,
Let's go.
all right.
You hear the gate opening as two guards start stepping outside.
All right, as we dip down the alleyway, as soon as we have an ability to turn into a different street, in the street we were in, close enough to the road to be noticeable by the guards, I will cast Pyrotechnics.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Tell me what Pyrotechnics does.
All right, let me get to my spells real quick.
Little boom before the big boom.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little boom before the big boom. So Pyrotechnics is, let me link it there. It's linked into the Roll20. Yeah, choose an area of non-magical flame. All right, well, I guess I'll have to light some tinder before, but I guess I'll light tinder. And
there are torches like lantern,
perfect.
Street lamps and stuff on the way.
Perfect, thank you. Then out of a street lamp, what would happen is fireworks. The target explodes with dazzling displays of color. Each creature within 10 feet of the target must succeed on a con saving throw or become blinded. I'm not really concerned about that. I'm just concerned with creating the fireworks. And it's instantaneous, so they just shoot out and they'll die out pretty quickly, but it's a big display.
Yep.
All right, so as we're sort of moving backwards, just sort of do some things with my hands, and just like, and spook, and then we'll
yeah. So this sets off from one of the lanterns. I will get you to do an accompanying, be it performance or deception, or I would also allow an Arcana check as it's a spell.
Okay, I will do a performance check.
Because it is a very showy spell.
It is.
Yeah. So as you see these two guards kind of coming out, the two of you take off down the street, and the guards are on very quick hot pursuit behind you. You duck down an alley, kind of turn around as you are going, point at one of the lamps, of which you just see a huge explosion of fireworks, and you just hear from the guards, "Ow, my eyes!"
I'm assuming we hear this inside.
Their con saves, and are temporarily blinded until the end of their next turn. Yes, you would hear both the fireworks and the scream from inside.
Pew, 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 pew. I told him to run. Well, it's now or never.
Those are my favorite options.
And I'll throw the rest of the gunpowder on the ground and be like,
"You're up."
All right. I will. When I made my perception check earlier, did I see a clear path for us to dive out and swim?
Yes, you believe so.
Okay, cool. All right. As soon as I light it, we dive and we swim back to shore.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I will take out a torch. I will quickly light it and drop it and go very quickly, and then dive into the water.
Yeah. Do you want to make, athletics checks to swim?
Yeah, that'll work.
Athletics.
Good.
Athletics
good.
or
No, it had to happen.
You have it. You have the chest. Do you have the chest with you?
Oh, I do
Does have the chest with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lydia, you drop it light and do a magnificent kind of like swan dive out off
it's real
the
cool.
edge. ducking into the water. You disappear into the murky blackness. Sloop is just kind of running, and right at the kind of like cobblestone edge of these little docks, he just like stubs his toe and goes like whoop, whoop, boom. A very loud splash that follows that as he more or less cannonballs into the water. You don't really hear this being underwater yourself, but you begin your swim away from it.
Okay.
Sloop, you are also still inside the blast radius.
Mm-hmm.
Django and Ira, you are ducking in and out through alleyways outside with a couple of guards. You've bought yourself a little bit of time as they've been blinded, but after a turn around, you do hear them again kind of fanning out in the area, and you hear them calling for like the watch and for other guards.
Oh dear. I really hope that they do whatever they're going to do quickly, because we do not have a lot of time.
You also see lanterns coming on in windows as old people poke their heads out to be like, what's all this racket?
I have a question. Does turning ethereal mean that I'm invisible?
Yes.
You know what?
It can. You can be like a spooky, ghostly apparition ethereal, but you can
All
also
right.
be
Oh dear.
within the ethereal plane.
Okay. I'm gonna look over to Django as we're running. Is there an alley that we could potentially split down?
Oh, absolutely. This place is full of alleyways.
As we're coming up on one, I'm going to tell him I'm going to go invisible and go one way. You go the other. I'll make some light to make them think we're going one way. Meet you back at the beggar in cask.
It's our only option, dear.
All right. I'm going to use my Shroud of Beha.
Beha.
I don't really know how to say it. Beha. My fancy cloak that allows me to go ethereal for a round. So I'm gonna wait to activate it until we have split. Once I am down the alleyway, I'm again going to press the digitation, make a bunch of sparks. While he goes down one way, go ethereal, start booking it.
Okay.
And if I can, within that window, duck behind something, or like find another hallway to duck behind while I'm still invisible, I would like to.
Cool. So I will still get you to, as we're still within the skill challenge, make a skill check alongside of it. Things that sound reasonable would be like deception or stealth. You're trying to stay hidden, or you're trying to make them think you've gone one way when you've gone another.
Yeah.
While Jago's going the other way, he's going to slip the scarf out from his belt, wrap it around his head, grab some dirt off the ground, smudge it across his face, take his jacket off and wrap it around his waist, and start to change the eloquation of his voice, and all in attempts to stealth and look like a different person.
I love it.
Like actor feat.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do a stealth check, so that's the only thing I've got a decent stat in.
Okay.
Please. Yes, thank you.
There it is.
There.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yes.
Ira, you disappear into this. Django, I think it's like you kind of like you're getting yourself ready, and you look back and you just see her like this. Her cloak plumes up around her in this like big thing as this like spectral almost apparition of a banshee is what she almost turns into, and then just fades and disappears.
That's unusual.
I mean, what else can you say about that, really?
Yeah, that's all he'll say is that's unusual, and then continue mocking himself up and start to duck into an alley, and once into the alley and as far as he's concerned successfully changed, I'll start slowly walking back towards the tavern.
And I'll get you to make a check likewise.
What would you like me to do?
What would you like to do? It's your decision. Are you trying to deceive? Are you trying to
I am trying to appear unassuming and
plain sight.
different. Yeah, so
I would take stealth.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah, stealth
All
or
right.
deception sound reasonable.
Okay.
Nice.
And Django's luck continues.
You don't really see, but you hear the guards come around the corner, and they stop and say, "Hey, did you see where these two guys? Sorry. And then you just hear footsteps.
As he'll just say, I think that they went that other alley. I saw some sparks over there. I don't know.
And yeah, they take off in the direction you've suggested. Sloop. Lastly, you were just in the water by this little outport. And I will actually note from where you are able to notice that there are sewer intakes or sewer outtakes that come out into these little dock ports as well.
Okay. So I know I'm definitely still in the blast radius.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
just like sort of toppled off the thing. Yeah. So I see like Lydia confidently swimming away, and I have the box, and it's kind of weighing me down, and I can see that sewer thing. So I just kind of let it weigh me down and just sink down and swim into one of those.
Okay. Yeah. I want you to maybe make like a con save to hold your breath or something.
Sure. I'm gonna add that D4 that I was so kindly gifted.
Oh. I don't normally allow for saving throws, but I feel like it's the right choice for entering a sewer.
Oh, I thought that was the only thing I could use it on. Sorry.
Oh no! You can use it. You can use it on that. Yeah. The 1d4. Yeah. That's part of a skill challenge. I don't normally.
Oh,
use,
I see.
Saving throws is what I mean.
And 4.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
So 4, 5, 6, 17. Yeah, you sink right down with the weight of this chest and just march your way into the sewer tunnel that begins to a steady incline up until you're able to gasp open another breath of air that stinks terribly. And you just start taking off down the sewer tunnel at full speed. Lydia, you have swam out to kind of a nearby one of those like wooden pillars that are in to separate like dock areas.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And all of you kind of get to look back very briefly, or at least hear back very briefly in the sewers and the like, as a large explosion rocks the warehouse. At which point...
Yes!
A single tear
chaos we
rolls down
will.
Sloop's cheek.
The cries for the watch go up even louder from before. Lights are going on. Bells are clanging in the city. And we will cut ourselves to a 15-minute break. 15-minute break? 10-minute break. And be right
Sweet.
back.
Oh, that was awesome.
Well done.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Ruffians, where our rough crew has just detonated a warehouse being filled with gunpowder from a local group of smugglers, and are making their way away from the scene of the crime. Django and Ira have taken to the back streets as they've ducked through various alleyways and the like, causing distractions, turning into spooky ethereal ghosts. Lydia has dove gracefully into the water, swam out to a waiting point to get a great view of the explosion. Probably, honestly, I think she's the only one who gets like a proper view. And from her view, she can see that the explosion, while quite large, doesn't take out the whole warehouse, but does put a very sizable, about, I see, a third of it goes down as the structure collapses around it, and the retaining wall around the boat falls out as well. Sloop, on the other hand, has now discovered the town's intricate sewer system, where he is running away from the sound of smoke and fire and falling rocks behind him. And I believe you were all making your way back to the Beggar and Cask.
Yep.
Yeah.
So who do you think would arrive there first?
Era, you would definitely be the first one to arrive back, as Django was playing a bit of a part and letting the guards go by. I think you've done a bit of a wider circle through the town, heading up to kind of through some of the fancier parts of Old Town, exploring some of kind of the nobler areas of the docks. Django, yourself, you would have taken some time, kind of worked your way west, mostly through the alleyways, south through the alleyways, and made your way back to the Beggar just shortly after Era.
All right.
Lydia, you would not be too long, because you would probably swim back to shore pretty quickly, drag yourself off, and I suspect to make your way directly there. Sloop, I'm going to need you to make a survival check.
Oh, no.
Because you are in a sewer system.
That's a wisdom skill. Yeah, that makes sense. 4.
So the three of you will make it back during the night. Sloop will take some more time. So Era, you are the first to return to the Beggar and Cask. You can see kind of the whole way that you're walking. A lot of people are like coming out of their houses. Even the Cask has a kind of a crowd outside of it. It is late. It is about midnight here now, so most people have gone to bed. But they have been woken up by this large explosion.
Okay. I guess I'm going to try and just push past people as unsuspiciously as possible, get up to the room, and I'm going to immediately start going through my books, because I was not as prepared as I wanted to be. I need to fix that.
Yeah, no problem. You're able to get in. The bartender kind of gives you a nod when you come in as you head up to your room. Creek is nowhere to be seen at the moment, as it's pretty late in the bar, so there's a couple of kind of hangers on, but most of them moved outside to see what the noise was all about.
All right.
Django, you would arrive second to the inn.
Yeah, I would just slip my coat back over my shoulders, not put it on totally, pull off the scarf as a bandana, wipe my face with the scarf, wrap it back in my belt as I'm walking in, and just and I would land at the bar and just say, "My good sir, my good gentleman, I would like a nightcap before I retire to my room upstairs. Something strong and that will make me quite sleepy and not feel any of my aches."
Absolutely not a problem. We've got plenty on tap, sir. And you see him reach back, kind of flick through a few bottles, and then grab a kind of like an 8-year-old scotch. Nothing too fancy, but a good end of the night drink.
Oh, that is lovely. I will take a dram of that, and you can keep the change, my good mate, and I will retire for the evening.
Yeah, and he pours you the drink, takes your coin, and kind of gives you a little nod and a point, and lets you make your way upstairs.
All right, and I will come into the room with my whiskey and just join Era.
She's at one of the desks. There is a mess on one of the desks in the few minutes she's been in there. Papers, books. It's a very organized chaos that to anyone else looks like just she threw everything on there, but she seems to be navigating it just fine.
Yeah, and Django will just take a sip of his ski and just look at me. We just blew up a bloody warehouse. You're studying already.
Yes, because unlike someone, I'd like to be more prepared.
Oh, I was perfectly prepared. Did you not see my show?
Yes, I saw it, and as much as I hate to admit it, it was impressive. I'm just looking for one spell, as I'm looking for the shift Refined Familiar.
And Django will find a seat or slip onto a bed, sitting back with his legs up, and just say, "Whatever you need, darling, I'll wait for the others and keep an eye out." And he'll pull out a hat, a tricorn hat, and slip it over his eyes and lean back. And
Nice. Lydia, you come up next into the bar, soaking wet.
Yep. Seeing that Sloop isn't there, is there a place for me to sit and wait?
Yeah. There is, there's lots of spots in the bar. You also know that there is a table on the balcony with a window that overlooks the front of the bar, outside.
Okay. That's right, because that's where Creek was before. I'll go sit up there.
Great. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Trail water behind me.
You see, someone who's kind of cleaning up glasses and mugs, lets out a sigh as you go up the stairs, and you hear the roll of the mop bucket come out. You would be able to pass by the room and see the two of them in there as well, if you were to poke your head in, assuming.
Yeah, I actually would, to see if Sloop was in there. So yeah. I'll poke my head in. Is Sloop back yet?
No. You're the first to come back. What happened?
Well, I swam away from as you can clearly tell, from the warehouse, and I don't know where he went. I'm assuming he's all right. He's a tricky little fellow, but I had hoped he would be back by now.
He's a resilient little kobold, I'm sure he's fine.
I'm gonna go wait out at this table and look out for him.
Before you go, just so you don't cause any unwanted attention, prestidigitation, clean your clothes.
Oh, thank you.
Your hair puffs out.
Lydia Ray, such a cliche.
I don't have a cool comeback, so I'll give you a face.
I can slap him a third time if you'd like. I've already done it twice.
A third time? No, please do.
I'd like to hear more about those slaps. Cut to 2.5 hours later.
No.
You've explored a bunch of the sewer. You're not quite sure where you are, because every time you pop, you're not really familiar with the city, so every time you pop up, you realize you don't really recognize this area immediately. And you pop back down to avoid the crowds and attention and the like. Can I get you to roll a D100 for me? A luck roll?
D100.
Oh.
Oh no! Do I explode?
No! The gunpowder in his
Oh, that's what I get for rolling over 20, for 2 days.
Oh my god!
Oh, the dice gods are not kind.
Ooh,
Goodness.
Well, they had to balance out my two natural 20s.
Hero meter
It should be
immediately goes
straight,
to
I can take
100%.
it.
Yeah, right?
Sloop, you finally find kind of a passageway. You find yourself to a set of locked iron bars, or what you think are originally locked iron bars, and realize that they've actually been left open in a section of the sewer that you don't recognize. You kind of haven't come necessarily across this before. You find it smells quite bad. It seems like it is maybe a busier section of the city. But yeah, you do find a set of bars on the side of the sewer walls.
Can I squeeze through them?
Yeah. Without even kind of opening them, your tiny kobold body is able to work your way in through.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I squeeze through, and the box catches on the side, and then turn it sideways and bring it through with me to be like,
Stupid sewers! Put goddamn signs down here. How does anyone get anything done?
Yeah, you are soaked through with sewage goo, but it kind of helps you get through in that set of bars. You work your way down this passageway and find that the stonework starts getting very, very fine and well made. You clearly can tell that you are no longer in the sewer. This seems to just be a path that leads into it. And you come into a large, dark room. And it kind of takes a moment for your dark vision to set into this. As you look forward and kind of get the dimensions of the room around you, find that it is a fairly cavernous space, but with it's not very wide. It's quite tall, but not as wide. And it takes you off guard because you see what looks like about 24 people standing in front of you. And then as your vision kind of hones in, you realize that they're not people, but are statues.
Oh. You almost got me there with the old being a statue trick. It's a good, well made.
And then as you kind of get closer, you realize they're not just statues, but they're obsidian statues of orcs.
Sloop just like drops the and just starts scurrying backwards, and he's like,
"Oh my God!"
You know that all of you would know, in this world, orcs are not the standard traditional orcs. Orcs are made from statues of obsidian. And you, as a kobold, would recognize that this is basically a birthing chamber for orcs to be made in.
And so, like, Sloop sort of instinctively starts going and looking for the gunpowder and like pulls it out. It's just like soup. It's like, is there like a way out? Is there a ladder?
You can see there is a door, a well iron wooden door with iron reinforcements at the far end of the room, along with things like a altar place and sets of like crafting tools around.
I'm gonna go and, like, keeping a really wide berth around those statues, like pick the box back up and slowly start making my way around the edges of them to go to that door.
Yeah, you're just able to like they are basically filling this room to the edges. So you're like squeaking right by them as you look up to them and make your way to the door, which you discover is locked.
And just kind of like he takes his hook tail and just like ding ding twice on the ground, and then the thieves' tools just extend out of it like a Swiss Army knife. And I'm gonna try to pick the lock.
Yeah, go for it. Make a thieves' tool check. Tool check.
Tool proficiencies. Where's that? Oh, there we go.
Nice.
21.
A good roll, but you click and you clack and you cannot get this door open. You note that it is a very well-made lock, and the door itself is very exceptional craftsmanship. And as you kind of look around at this room and the well-hewn brickwork, you also notice that these statues are they're strangely unfamiliar. They don't quite look like the orcs you've seen before, but they are very well made.
Someone is dealing with things they definitely do not understand. Well, folks, it's been swell.
And tips his hat and then very slowly around the edges, like,
excuse me, pardon me, I'm going back the other way. I'm going to just squeeze right through here.
And I'll go back out through the bars and I guess try my luck in the sewers again.
Yeah, you make your way back into the sewers and fiddle your way around for a bit. You poke out through some nearby grates to get an idea of where you are. And discover that as you kind of poke out in this area, you find yourself near the marketplace, the central marketplace for the town, of which you have passed through to get to the Beggar and Cask before, and are able to kind of make your way up to the surface and walk your way there.
And when
Lydia,
I pop
this
back
would...
up, though, I kind of want to look in the direction that I came from, and just sort of clock that area. I'm just like, I don't think Sloop has the mental capabilities to figure out which house basement he was in, but just knowing that this general area they're being made, I just like to clock that.
I'll get you to make a survival check to
Okey
determine
dokey.
kind of how you've... I know you're bad at these.
Whoa,
Right.
it's a nat
Minus
20.
1.
You are almost certain that this room is underneath the temple to Gallandor on the edge of the market square.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just sort of looking up at that building, and sort of shake my finger at it, and be like,
I'm gonna be seeing you later, I'm sure. I'm gonna find that boat full of gunpowder. Freaking didn't even get to see the first explosion. Gonna see this one for sure.
and just mumbling and making my way back to the inn.
So it's about around 3 hours, Lydia, since you've been there.
And I'm like nodding off at the table.
Which is coming up at around 3:30, almost 4 o'clock in the morning, as you see Sloop squishing and sliming his way down the road to the cask.
It's about fucking time.
You got to see it, right?
I did. It was glorious. What took you so long?
I went into the sewers. It's a terrible place. I
Yeah,
don't want
clearly.
to talk about it.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. There's a temple I want to blow up, if we can put that on the list at some point, but maybe something for the morning.
Yeah, something for the morning for sure. The other two probably asleep.
Oh, well, thank you for waiting for me.
Of course. We're a team. No one gets left
We are.
behind.
The best kind of team, the team that leaves only ashes in our wake.
I like you.
I like you too. Please explain to me every bit of the explosion that you remember. I never
I will
get to
do
see
that.
them.
And as we're walking into our room, I'll explain in very clear detail what it looks like. Not as eloquent as Django, but I've hung around with him enough to know some fancy words.
I will say Era is still awake because elves and sleep. You don't need to sleep.
All right, yeah.
Elves
Django.
sleep,
4 hours too.
elves sleep in this world. They don't trance.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they do sleep.
Shit.
Django is snoring loudly, holding the cup of whiskey just like right here, the hat down, just like.
Era probably passed out over her work, to be honest.
You'd probably hear them come in. You would certainly smell Sloop coming in.
Oh dear Lord. I'm just gonna like sleepily wave a hand at Sloop. Prestidigitation.
Bloody hells! What is that smell?
It's I had quite a. I can. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can. I'll sleep in the water trough outside. That's okay.
No,
mate, it's
you don't
just-
need to do that.
No, just hold still for God's sake and just prestidigitation cleans Sloop like for the second time tonight.
Yeah, you would smell like that too if you went through the sewers.
Oh,
How did you end up in the sewers?
a kobold so bold, smelling so old.
Stop trying to make that work. It's not going to work.
I sank because of this.
And I hold up the chest and slam it onto the ground and be like,
We got a little bit of spare loot.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, and Django's face immediately shifts from disgust to, oh, what do we have here?
No. In the morning. We'll look at it in the morning. We all need our rest.
True enough.
I'll go back to sleep in a bit. I'm trying to finish this.
Don't
Wasn't
stay up
nearly.
too late.
I won't.
I've got
I
more
wasn't
chaos
nearly
to
as-
cause tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd just like to be prepared to cause this chaos. I realized how did not have what I wanted prepared, and that nearly got me in Django caught.
I'm glad you didn't.
It's a good thing that I had just the right spectacular show in my back pockets.
Why did you feel like you needed to put on a spectacle? I told you to run.
We got caught by the guards.
You can run fast.
Well,
there was a lot of them in hot pursuit, and Lydia, I'm not as fast. I'm not as fast.
Error. Tell me honestly. The fireworks necessary.
Of course
I'm not asking you, because I know what answer you'll give me.
I personally think with the predicament we had, we needed some distraction. And
Darling,
that seemed...
Lydia.
And I was agreeing with you.
No, I was saying it to her. I was emphasizing your point. Punctuating it. I'm sorry. Continue.
And from what I can tell happened, that explosion, combined with the larger one, caused a lot of unrest. There were quite a few crowds.
Yes.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yes. I do believe
we're all going to get along very well.
The important thing is that I don't think any of us were tracked. I managed to elude the guard. He was able to elude the guard, and it doesn't seem like either of you were detected.
And as a morally upright citizen, I do believe that I may have saved a few lives. I'd like to cause chaos, but as our good bastard king said, we would like to take this city bloodlessly. And I think I spilled less blood tonight because of my spectacular show.
Go back to sleep.
As he puts back the dram, there's nothing in it, and he just puts it back as gladly, darling, as I will collapse on the bed.
So this curl up around the chest like a little dragon and put his hat down over his eyes and go to sleep.
That's adorable.
Can't compete with Sloop. MVP.
Nope. Just
adorable.
Little sewage rat.
Everybody's just here for Sloop.
Yep.
And Lydia and Nira, you are going to sleep as well?
Yeah. I'm gonna finish preparing my spells and go to bed.
Is there a second cot or something in here?
There are two beds. There's two beds, there's a chair, and there's like a carpet. I'm assuming Sloop has taken the carpet. There's enough that you can all fit in there to some degree.
Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna be honest, Era's gonna sleep at the desk. She's used to that. She doesn't, so she's fine.
I'll go on the other bed.
All right. Before the sun rises in the morning, you all fall asleep in the cask. And the day passes. Well, the morning passes. And you all wake up. I mean, unless you have plans to wake up significantly early after only a couple of hours of sleep, you would all wake up around 8 hours, about a long rest's worth later, around noon. You would, and certainly if you were to step outside the room, you would notice that it is still fairly dark. There is a pretty thick fog around the city today. And you can tell that there's a bit of kind of quiet conversation happening all around. But it's the sound of the city is very muffled from the fog.
Upon waking up, I think I'm just going to get this done out of the way because I honestly should have had this done in the first place. I'm going to start drawing the ritual spell, the ritual circle for Find Familiar.
Sure.
The components. Just on the floor with chalk.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do this as part of your kind of long rest cycle.
And I don't know what. Let's just go with the cat.
Cat? Sure.
Yeah.
What color cat?
A stark white cat. Gives off a very faint green glow.
Yeah. So as you draw this circle out on the ground and complete your incantations, this spectral apparition of a cat comes into being. This like green fog sort of creeps in the room and forms, and then it just sits on the ground, kind of looks around and goes, meow. This unusual sound probably wakes up some of you as well.
Oh, breakfast in bed.
No, I don't think the cat's for eating.
No.
Oh, get that thing away from me.
It's a cat.
It's not even a cat.
Bloody cats are unlucky, don't you know?
Oh, get over it. It's
It
just
immediately
a cat.
jumps on Django's bed.
See?
Bloody hell!
You.
Django will launch it across the room with it in his hand.
No, don't hurt my. Do you know how? If you make me waste spell components on this cat, I'm going to hurt you.
Keep your bloody
Django, why don't we step
spectral
outside?
creatures away from me.
Let's go. Come on, outside. Outside.
This spectral creature could keep up. This spectral creature could keep incidents like last night from happening. So I'm just gonna scoop the cat up, put her on my shoulder.
Yeah, it happily it does like a little walk across your shoulders and then kind of awkwardly walks back and then just floops down on its side like a scarf around your neck.
Oh God, the cat needs a name now.
Right? Django will walk past Era to Lydia to go out with her, and as she gets close to Lydia or Era and the cat, he'll just sort of be around her.
It tries to bat you with its tail.
And he'll literally bat back.
Django, don't antagonize the cat.
You just bloody antagonize me.
It's just a cat.
It's not even a cat, it's a spirit. It's
Exactly.
not even a real animal.
Exactly.
Even worse.
Just leave it alone.
All right, I can compose myself.
Can you?
If I had known you were going to be so upset over a cat, I would have summoned it as something else.
He doesn't like very many animals. So anything you picked, he would have had a problem with.
Probably.
lucky.
I really should have gone with a rat, though, now that I think about it.
No rats.
I'd much prefer a rat.
You're very clever.
Actually, no. Hearing that Django would have liked that, I think picking the cat was a good idea.
These critters sink ships.
Cats sink ships.
All right, let's go out.
Django will for a moment smirk back at Aaron, but no, he's right. Still don't like that cat.
It's just a cat.
Okay.
As you head out into the lobby, the upstairs balcony of the cask, you can see that the bar is not in full nighttime swing, but that a lot of people are in here taking their lunch right now. The place does serve food, and it is fairly busy with a variety of characters.
Sloop is going to try to open that chest as we're kind of walking down, just sort of moving it around, and he's got his tail fiddling with the lock.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to make a thieves tool check for me?
I would like that. Thank you for asking.
Nice.
Wow.
For that chest.
It's a 23.
Ooh.
With a 23, you fiddle in with your little hook-tail thieves tools, and you hear the satisfying click and crunch of gears as the lock unclasps.
That's more like it. My favorite sound. Well, second favorite after a whole warehouse blowing up.
And I'll sort of slap it down on the table as we sit down and open it up and start piling everything out on the table.
You open it up and find a singular glass jar about a pint size lying on its side. It is a dark velvety lined box, and this jar is filled with a dark red liquid.
Fancy box to keep a jar of blood in.
Are we sure it's blood?
Hold on.
Did we leave the room, Lydia? Did we leave the room?
Oh,
Lydia?
yeah, we did. Yeah.
I assume this is all. Is this in the room or downstairs at one of the bar tables, Sloop?
Oh, did people leave? If we
Yeah, I pulled Django out.
Yeah. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure if it was just them leaving or not.
I was thinking that I was following everybody and sort of doing that with everyone. Yeah.
Can I lean over Sloop's shoulder? What would it be to just look at it without using detect magic, because I don't have it prepared right now? Would I be able to tell if maybe it's a component or if it's...
You can take a Arcana check.
Gladly.
Oh, Django's got detect magic.
25.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice, very nice.
You are almost certain that this is dragon's blood.
Ooh.
A sizable quantity of dragon's blood. A very powerful spell component used in a multitude of rituals, as well as being able to use in replace of other spell components.
Wow.
Oh my. Sloop, where did you find this? You found this in the warehouse?
Yeah, it was hidden in a boat, like under the floor.
You would also know that dragon's blood is considered extremely illegal to have, as its primary purpose is for creating orcs.
We should go back into the room, because I don't know if I want to give this information when there's others around.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So,
Head back into the room.
yeah. Go back in. I am almost certain that this is dragon's blood. It's very illegal, because it is a component used in making orcs.
Oh, that's terrible. Why everywhere I go?
Sloop, you would know this as well. You would know that your kind is literally hunted by orcs for your blood.
This does not bode well for me. I also found a room full of orcs last night in the sewers.
You found what?
There's
Were
a
they...
temple. And in the basement of the temple, they have just all the orc statues just sitting there waiting for some blood.
They weren't activated, though.
No, thank goodness I would not. I would certainly not be here.
Sorry, writing this down. Blood. And how big did you say this vial is?
About a pint.
Ooh.
Which is a sizable amount.
Okay. I need to look through my inventory here, because I want to see if I have any small bottles. I do not. I would be lying if I didn't say I wanted to take some, just because of how much of a valuable spell component this is. Not just in creating orcs, it can be used to replace things that I may not have, and that could be very useful. But this is a large amount. And
yeah, I mean, you should definitely have to. It kind of creeps me out to have it. My weird little bag has a bunch of blood in it too. So if you do need extra, this freaky bag has blood in it. So that works as well. It's the same stuff. That good stuff. I got plenty right here.
All right. I will try not to harvest from you, though.
Appreciate it.
Cool. I think it's safe to say we should just store this for now. We shouldn't carry it on us. This is a very illegal substance.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't want it anywhere near those orcs too, okay? We see an orc, we don't give them the blood. They're gonna ask with their statue eyes. They're gonna be like, I want that blood. You put it on me. It brings me to life. Don't do it. They're crafty.
Ask with the statues. I will be sure not to be tricked by inanimate statues, dear.
Thank you.
So, why I summoned my little friend here, as much as you don't like it, Django, is I can see through her. We can send her in. I have a certain radius where we don't risk us being caught. And if she gets caught and killed, I can just summon her back. As much as you may not like that she's a cat, she can be useful.
You're muted.
It's all very well, love. Mate. It's all very well. Just keep that cat away from me. Savvy?
Jezebel goes wherever the hell she wants, quite frankly. She's a cat. You don't control them.
Wherever I want.
All right, just please avoid killing her. It's quite a hassle to bring her back.
I wouldn't dream, mate.
Django, every time you're kind of making hand motions, it's trying to like bat at you.
And then he'll like this and
I'm just gonna take like 3 steps away from Django. It's like she's playing. She's
so
playing. We'll keep the cat away from you.
Appreciated.
So, what's the plan now? Wreaked a lot of havoc last night. I think maybe looking around, seeing what maybe the local gossip is saying is going on might be a good start.
I think we might need to think about what we found and where we found it. There was an Aaron family warehouse that contained all this contraband. Now we know they've got a bit of a tiff with that other family that escapes my memories of the name of it.
That is
Nere.
the Nere.
Nere?
Yeah.
Cool.
You
The
don't
Nere
think-
family. This whole masquerade is to celebrate the peaceful union of these families, or at least the peace. And they're shipping in black powder.
It's not peaceful anymore.
And they also had a vial of dragon's blood
Dragon's blood.
in their warehouse. And apparently they have orcs that are just waiting for the blood. Do you think maybe they're planning to unleash them on the masquerade?
Perhaps not the masquerade, but perhaps to control the city. You mentioned a noble killer, right?
There's a drafted press release of there's a missing member of the Aaron family, and there was a press release drafted. I don't think it's out yet. That mentioned suspecting someone targeting nobles, trying to find out who that is.
Well, I don't know about a lot of you, but when I hear this from a family that barters and smuggles and such goods, I smell conspiracy. Now, they may be... This Aaron family member may legitimately be lost, gone, missing. But if they're trying to vie for power, a lost family relative, a noble killer, just the right excuse to grab control.
I almost think that this city will be better off when the army comes.
It sounds like one of my stories. It's so unbelievable, but we've seen these things.
Now, Sleep, you're absolutely certain that you found a room full of inactive orcs. I believe you. I'm just making sure.
Yes. I can take you there. I know where they are. I mean, we could go back. The sewers are terrible. I will say that. And
Where in the city do you think they are? You mentioned a temple.
yes, temple. The Gorby something. I don't know gods.
You like the god? You would know him.
Oh, I would know him.
Yeah, it's Galandor. He is like the god of the sea, the god of storms, the god of trade, generally of pirates. He is the patron god of the elves.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so then I would know him.
And the galley king.
Galandor.
Oh yeah, I definitely know him.
So,
Oh really?
what if I sent my little friend snooping around in that temple? She's a cat. She's not going to really be noticed.
I think what we need to discover is the order of our events today. Search out rumors, see what's happened since we blew up the bloody warehouse, and then figure out what we're going to do next. Now, I'm not saying that the errands are pretending their own are lost. There could be another rival house hiring some sort of noble killer. Or, worst of all, there might literally be just some bloke going around killing nobles.
We don't know that they're dead. To be clear, we do not know they're dead. We know they're missing.
Missing.
Noble kidnapper.
We need more information on that front, but if we can tie it to a noble family, even if it isn't them doing it, the discord, it will prevail.
The name was Pippa Aaron.
Pippa
Right.
Aaron.
Did it say anything about how old they were?
Did it, DM?
It did not. It simply stated that it was a member of the family house that they went missing approximately 1 week ago.
No age. No age, just that they went missing a week ago. And I imagine that if it's, I don't know if it's out in the public yet.
That the family is working with the other merchant princes to discover who might be targeting nobles in the town.
Okay. Families are working together. So the thing about the rumors, I'm not sure that people know that this person is missing yet because this was just a draft. So perhaps in our search, we might want to keep that information to ourselves, lest we end up being targets or suspects.
Perhaps we should ask about Pippa, regardless. Because if she ain't missing, mate, then we've broken up an entire conspiracy.
Yeah. All right.
We need to ask questions soon, rather than later.
So perhaps rumor searching first. Somewhere in there, we can check out the temple. I can send Jezebel in. The only thing is that while I'm looking through Jezebel's eyes and ears, I am blind and deaf, so I'm going to need something.
I'll cover you. Don't worry. We're also going to need something to wear to this fancy party. We definitely can't go looking like this.
Oh, you read my mind, darling.
Of course I did.
These are the nicest clothes
You know how to clean up, Django.
Oh, I will look fantastic for this event. I want all the gossip in the morning to speak about Django with the BT. And I intend fully to buy Sloop, the finest garb a kobold has ever worn.
And we just make sure he doesn't wear it until the night of the party. I have that spell on me all the time, but it might just be easier.
Yeah,
I think we all don't need to wear our fancy clothes.
Yeah, so Sloop has already spilled ketchup all over himself this morning.
There's no ketchup here, mate. How did you do it?
It just happened. I don't know. I am one of those.
You got like rained on by condiments again. Well, that seemed like a decent agenda today. Rumors and investigating the temple.
Aye.
All right.
Do we want to go all together? Or do we want to divide and conquer?
Dividing and conquer worked so well last night.
It did. It actually did. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but it did.
A little bit of both. It really did work, and it may be less suspicious.
Our mission was to sow chaos, and that's exactly what we did. So in my eyes, that's a win.
I only hope that you didn't use up all my luck last night, darling.
Why don't we do this? I feel if me and Django are seen together, we may be recognized by gods. So what if I go with Sloop to the temple, and you go with Django to go investigate rumors? You two are better at speaking it to people than me anyways.
We'll do that.
Sounds
If
good.
that's a wise decision.
Would
Okay.
you say it's the
All right.
smartest thing she said all day?
It's the first of many.
Yes, quite.
So-
Yep.
You leave the upstairs room
Yes.
and make your way down, I assume, into the busy beggar and cask below.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Arrow's going to buy a shot of something strong. Needs courage for this.
Yeah, you head over to the bartender and ask for something strong, and you get just this like sickly sea green liqueur that when you take a shot of tastes strongly of like kelp and seaweed.
Django
like
will
what
fermented seaweed.
yeah.
What I expected.
Django will definitely slip next to her and be like, "I'll take 2 of those for myself, mate."
One, he'll take one of those for himself. We have work to do today.
Liddy, I've not had grog in so long.
You only need one. You need your wits about you.
Fine, I'll take 1, and if you have it, good sir, 6 eggs.
6 eggs, yeah, that's not a problem here at all.
Over
And he
easy.
pours you up the shot. Over easy. Got it.
Yeah. And I'll procure the coin for it and just say, and if you've got any good rumors, I need good stories. It's just been work, grog, eggs. What sort of stories do you might have heard this morning?
Make a persuasion check.
Absolutely.
And I will give you advantage since you are bribing him.
Yeah. All right. All right. Where's the change? Okay. Persuasion.
All right.
Okay.
26.
Sweet.
He says, oh, rumors. Geez, there's all sorts of things going on in the city nowadays. I mean, I'm sure you heard the explosion last night.
That was terrible.
Certainly woke me right up.
Me as well.
They don't know much about it. It sounds like a couple of kind of drunks in the area that were spotted, but doesn't sound like they've got any suspects right now. But weird dark night like this, there's lots of weird things going on in the city. Something's been going on with the dock workers lately. They've been acting real strange. Boat came in last night, real dark looking one. Sailors said they didn't see anybody on board but one captain step off. And you see him kind of sly his head backwards towards a blatant looking captain in large robes, a female human sitting at one of the tables in kind of the back right corner of the bar. They say, other than that, I mean, we've got the masquerade ball in a couple of days. I guess tomorrow night that's going on. And then, the big parade and the party is on Sunday. So we're all looking forward to that down here.
Of course, mate. I can't wait. It's what I'm staying in the town for, in the city for, not shipping off right away.
Oh, I thought you guys were in here doing some merchant trading business.
Oh, we are, but we want to stay for the festivities.
Oh, it's a good time. The town always kind of kicks up and everybody gets together for it. Really kind of brings everyone together, we feel.
Of course, mate. It'd be a shame to leave so early and not stay for the party.
Oh, I'm
Now,
sure
thank
it'll
you.
be a hell of a night.
I thank you very much, sir, for these rumors. I'll enjoy those eggs over there at the table across the room. And I'll drop a little bit more coin down for him.
Anytime. And he slaps the table and slides the coin off and deftly pockets it all in one motion.
Well, I see you two have it covered here. Sloop, you want to show me where that table is?
Yeah, you betcha. Follow me.
Before we go, when should we meet back? A few hours?
I say dinner time.
All right. Try not to get
Yeah,
in
it
too much
is
trouble.
around noon right now. So
All right. Try not to get in too much trouble.
Oh, he won't. He's with me.
Of course, darling, I'll never get into any trouble. As you see the little feather on his coat starts to dance around.
Knowing he's with you, Lydia, I have the utmost confidence that he will behave. And I'm gonna go with Sloop.
Sloop and Era, you make your way out of the bar and head towards the busy town market.
All right. While we are in this market, do I see anybody who may be selling little glass vials? Like little
Absolutely, you do. I'm not even going to make you roll for it. Yeah,
Please,
that is something you could find with ease.
That's just something I just want to pick up a few of them because I want to, when we're back in the room, I want to take a few vials of dragon's blood, have on my person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so as you hit the market, it's a fairly open style market where a lot of the major streets all kind of converge in at the same place. You're able to find shops of all kinds here. It is the middle of the day, but it is kind of a weekday, so it's business as usual. You would probably know that markets in most towns are busiest on the weekends when people are able to come in kind of from the nearby villages to pick up all their goods and stuff. Saturday is traditionally the market day in Adrithel, at least, if not most cities.
Mm-hmm.
So there are kind of general goods stores open, but it's not a wild and crazy packed market right now.
Perfect. I'm just gonna mark that down. Pick up a few vials. Nice. Vials. Alright, I don't want to deter us too long, so as soon as I'm able to get them, I'll pay for them and fall asleep.
Yeah, not a problem. You can get as many as your heart's desires.
I think I'm just gonna go with 3 for now.
Perfect. And yeah, you're able to make your way kind of across the market square to where the Temple of Galandor sits. This temple is a large mixture of wooden ship masts and sandstone blocks that you would know are not native to the region, but Era you would recognize from the Elven homeland, which exists in the desert at the city of Neversea, that they often carve with sandstone there. So it's clear that this temple has been built with materials that have been shipped across the entire Wild Sea to get here. The temple itself looks quite old compared to a lot of the other buildings in the city, but this marketplace isn't in the older section of town where all the boats are made out of ships.
Okay. So.
Notably, in front of it, there is also a large statue of kind of a horse rearing back on the bow of a ship with a man on top of that with a spear. An androgynous figure on top of that, wielding a spear as well, and kind of this like 3-tiered like boat, horse, person raising up, which you would recognize immediately as a symbol of Galandor.
Okay. So, this is where you saw, well, obviously under here, but this is where you saw them.
Yeah, in the basement. I'll tell you, this statue is a lot more respectable than the carving they're doing down there.
I'm going to send Jezebel down off of me. Just tell her, look for a little cranny you can squeeze into while we walk around.
Sure. I will get you to roll a investigation check for your cat. I guess your cat can roll an investigation check.
Do you want me to use my stats or look up the stats for a cat?
I'll tell you what, roll a flat d20. I will grab a cat stat for you real fast.
I know this was totally last minute, so I apologize.
No worries.
No, not a D30, a D20, thank you. Oh, 6.
6, and I'll let you add +3 to that.
So a 9.
Which is a 9. So your cat goes kind of around the corner of the temple and disappears.
I'm gonna wait to start looking through her for a minute because I do need to be in a place where I'm not going to be super suspicious.
Yeah.
So-
You after about like 30 seconds or so, you feel the emotion of excitement coming over your familiar.
Oh dear, what did she find? I looked down at Sloop. We need to find a place where I can look without being attracting attention. Is there
Okay.
any like? Sure, there's like an alley I can duck into that's somewhat close by, or like a step I can sit on and just look like I'm praying something.
Yeah, I mean, this town is full of alleyways. You are directly in front of a temple. You could absolutely. You are also an elf. This is your patron god that you descended from. You would not look out of place praying directly in front of it.
All right. Sloop, keep an eye on things. And if you need me, I will not be able to hear you. Tug on my cloak, grab my hand, do something. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to kneel down, bring my head down to my closed hands, and I'm going to start looking through my familiar's eyes and ears.
As you close your eyes and blacken out the senses of the world around you, your nose twitches and your smell comes alive and your eyes open into your cat, which you just see running full speed down an alleyway, absolutely tearing around corners, going as fast as it possibly can in what does not appear to be around the temple or the direction of the temple.
Oh, God.
And after around 10 or 15 seconds, it turns another corner and you can see the large wharf rat that it is chasing.
Arrow's gonna come out of it looking visibly annoyed. God damn it, I should have made it a rat. Why didn't I make it a rat?
A couple more kind of seconds pass, like 15, 30 seconds, and you start feeling the emotion of disappointment coming from your cat.
I just tell her to come back.
And you feel it kind of hear you and begin making its way back after losing the rat.
Yeah, that was a failure. I'm glad Django wasn't here to have a snarky remark about the cat.
It's okay. Cats are fickle, but the best of us are.
She was chasing a damn rat.
Should have given her breakfast first, I guess.
Nelly,
We can walk
shouldn't-
around ourselves, I'm sure. The two of us will be able to get down there, no problem.
Yeah, sure.
Cutting back to breakfast, or lunch, as it were. Django and Lydia,
Lunch.
you are in the cask still, hanging out with a plethora of rumors from the barkeep.
Diego is stuffing eggs into his mouth.
So, you think we should talk to the captain over there? Or is it too early?
Oh,
And thank you for
darling,
not
these,
talking with your mouth full.
these eggs are divine. You must try them. I suppose we should speak with the captain. It is our only lead within the tavern right now.
Mm.
Oh, we lost Shelby.
The
no.
fickle internet. The fickle internet of fate. I will. Well, you have just a quick minute to see if she reconnects.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we're about to wrap for the night. So. So are you making your way to the captain? Was your plan?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
Or are you just eating eggs?
He's gonna do like a quick finish him up as he looks to Lydia and says, "I do believe you're right. We should speak with this captain."
Right. I trust that you're going to know what to say, not give anything away.
Yeah. Yes. Of course, darling. You know me well, Captain.
That I do,
I might
Mr. T.
like one more grog before we walk over.
You really need it.
It's not about need, darling. It's just about want at this point.
You do what you please. Whatever's going to loosen your tongue enough to.
Okay. Django's going to walk up to the bar and order. Yeah. First, I want to peer side-eye towards the captain and see if, I know it's midday, but to see if they do have a drink.
There we go. We've got Shelby back.
I'm going to shoot this laptop into the sun.
No worries. You've just missed Django going for another drink at the bar as Lydia's been chastising him for drinking too much.
Yes. Yeah.
You look over at that captain. They do have kind of a drink and a plate of food more or less on the other side of the table, and then in front of them is a collection of like a map and papers and a bunch of other things.
Okay, so when I get to the bar, I'd like to order 2 of the fermented kelp drinks. Sure. And I will nod to Lydia to come with me, and I will go back. I'll go over across to the captain, and I will, before sitting, I will just sort of hold up one of the drinks and hold up the other one and say, "Good afternoon, mate. I see you're sitting alone here looking over a set of maps, and I couldn't help but understand from your regalia that you might be a seafarer yourself, like myself and my partner here, Miss Ray. How are you this fine afternoon?"
I'm doing quite well. Busy and the like.
Well, I do not want to assume what your preference is for drink, but I brought you a bit of the fermented kelp. Happy to not send it back if you don't want it. But I came over to inquire largely about your business. You see, Miss Ray and myself are looking for further ventures as we've come to the city, looking for our next job.
Yeah, well, very good. I'm... make a persuasion check as you pass her this drink.
Got it.
Nice. Plus 10. Damn.
Expertise, Barnes.
Yeah. And she kind of, as you bring the drink across, and she says, this vile liquid, and shoots it back, slamming it down without even a wince, which you've found quite difficult to do with the awful taste that it is.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Says, please, by all means, join me. You seem like a rather interesting set of mercenaries for this town.
Django will mimic taking the shot and take his seat slyly as close to her as possible. And
do you not actually take the shot?
No, he does take it. He does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he takes it and then drops it, slams it on the table, and slides onto the table, sitting down, and just looks to her and says, "Oh, you've no idea how interesting we are."
Quite interesting. Many adventures, we go wherever the wind takes us. And it just so happens that the wind took us here.
And where do you hail from?
Local, I'd say. Grew up on the streets of Adrithel. Adrithel, okay. I got it right. A bit of a townie, though I tend to leave quite often, but this is my homecoming.
Interesting. So you must know these streets well. Tell me, has there been anything strange or out of the ordinary lately?
Well,
and you can tell that she is very intently watching into the eyes of both of you, like just cutting back and forth between you two.
Mm-hmm. Is there any like paraphernalia on her that indicates any sort of loyalties or colors or
make a knowledge check of your choosing. and I will let that flavor what you know.
Okay.
You may both do this.
Ooh, what is my best knowledge check? They're all the same. I'll do an investigation.
Insight? Does that count?
Ooh,
Oh no,
where's-
knowledge as in knowledge nature, knowledge arcana, knowledge history, knowledge religion.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skills.
They all suck. So
I like to let the players choose their own knowledge checks. And,
like that.
and draw from where they know their own stories from. Lydia with a history check and Django.
The investigation check there.
no.
Oh no, sorry, make a knowledge, not an investigation.
Knowledge. Sorry. Then I will
Oh
do
yeah,
history. as
history,
well.
religion, arcana, or nature.
History is better anyway. You know what? I've been sitting on it for a while. I'm gonna use that reroll that someone did.
Yes.
Nice.
Fair.
There you go.
So both of you would recognize the clothing that she is wearing. While her kind of tri-corner hat is the stereotypical captain's hat that you might see, she is wearing these very large set of robes imbued with the sigil of an eye on them, which you know from the history of the world in general is the symbol of mages, and particularly the mages school in the city of Indon to the north.
Ah.
It is the place where basically anyone who wants to study magic would study there.
Ah. I see you're a scholar of the arcane. That's impressive.
An astute one. Yes, I hail from the college. I've been sent here to look into some ripples that we've detected in the weave.
Ripples. What kind?
We're not certain exactly, but somebody in this town is playing with forces well beyond their control.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Very.
Well, I believe you asked us, and I didn't get your name right.
Captain Sybil.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Captain Sybil. I hope to become a captain myself someday.
And you are?
Lydia Ray.
Lydia.
You can call me Mr. Teague.
Mr. Teague. My
Mr. Teague.
pleasure, Mr. Teague, and hopeful Captain Lydia.
Now, as you said, you're looking for strange oddities amongst these streets. And though we've only been here shortly, there was somewhat of a explosion we heard about last night. And as long as you're discussing such accords, we'd be happy to look into any oddities for you.
Well, certainly. The explosion is, of course, not news to me. We arrived shortly after last night when it happened. Quite the scene on the docks, needless to say.
Quite unfortunate.
But such activities, if they are connected with what you're interested in discovering, us as just simple scabbler's dogs coming in off of the ports would be happy to investigate for you.
Please, by all means, if though that seemed to be a bit more of a perhaps military style action, I'm not sure. What I'm looking for is more arcane in nature. If you find anything out of the ordinary, people acting strange, spells where there shouldn't be spells, please, by all means, bring it to my attention. I'll be staying here for most of the day, but afterwards I'll be returning to my ship for the rest of my stay.
What is the name of your ship should we need to find you?
It's the Queen's Reckoning. It's the only icebreaker in the port.
It's a fine name.
And you would know the icebreaker ships to be large galleons from the north that are basically plated with iron in the front because they need to get through large passages of ice. The northern seas are mostly unsailable. They're very, very dangerous. And Indon is kind of the furthest city up that way, outside of a few villages.
Do we know the Indon's sort of allegiances in the current conflicts?
Yes. Yes, you do. You may roll a history check and I will give you a little bit more detail.
Thank you.
We're back to the freaking two.
No.
I hate that the other. I'm so mad that the other one is nat 20 too.
So
Yeah.
cool.
It's the worst part
Really
about
rubs it
rolling
in.
twice.
You know that when the capital was destroyed, Eodric, with the help of the Mages College at Indon, sealed off the city.
Okay.
Because hordes of undead were pouring out of it.
Of course. All right, then Django will look to Sybil and just say, of course, mate, we'll keep a weathered eye out for any unusual activities. And hopefully, we can help. Is there anything you know that might help us in keeping such a weathered eye out for you?
I'm afraid I've only just arrived today, so I'm still trying to get a bit of a lay of the city, but perhaps with a few more days I'll be able to make discoveries of my own.
Then I believe we will reconvene in some time and share our knowledge.
I look forward to it. And can both of you make a perception check?
100%. I should have saved that reroll. Yes, I should have saved that reroll.
Oh no.
I was rolling 20 plus all game, and now at the end.
Lydia, you notice as she shakes Django's hand and turns to you and shakes your hand, she smiles at you, and you can see that her incisors are exceptionally long for a human. And with that, we will end tonight's episode.
No.
Love it. Love it.
That was wonderful.
Wow.
That was great.
Thank you,
Superb.
everybody, for coming in. I had a lot of fun tonight. I'm very excited with a lot of things. Sloop's made a few interesting discoveries I wasn't expecting to come out so easily.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the unluckiest thing I could have run into for sure.
The unluckiest thing, absolutely.
I don't know. It might work to our advantage. We've got a big party tomorrow.
All depends. All depends. There's always lots of ways you can solve any of the problems in Adrithel, and I'm excited to see how you're already solving some of them and causing others. We're a little bit over time, so I'm gonna move to the wrap and some thank yous. But first off, I'm gonna let you all reintroduce yourselves to the wonderful chat and everything here. So tell us who you are, where you're from, where we can find more of you, and Sloop, we're gonna start it down on your end.
Okay, I'm Mike Farty. I play Sloop Brian Scale. You can find me at Wonder and Blunder. On Twitter, I'm the DM of the Wonders and Blunders podcast. We just hit 1 year and 50 episodes, so you should go check those out. We just did a really nice little flashback,
That's
and
awesome.
it's very, very cute, and you should watch it.
So good. I'm not in that flashback, and I can objectively say that I cried during it. So,
Oh, I love that.
Shelby playing Era. Take it away.
Like I said, Shelby from Wystle While You Work, where you just tell stupid stories about our antics in D&D and draw some pretty things. Find me on the Wystle While You Work channel, WYSTLE. Find me on Twitter at WhistleWhis or on Instagram at Wystle While You Work.
And if you need any of those links, they are in the chat that way. Finally, we'll throw it over to the Paradise crew with Lydia being played by Shannon.
Yeah, so I'm Shannon. I play Miss Lydia Ray, and I am from Paradise RPG. I play Scarlet, a rogue. And you can find me all over Twitter, all over Instagram. We're on Discord. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. So if you need links, just pop up in Twitter. We're there.
And coming live from the deep blue undersea room, we have Sean playing Django.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I play Django Weatherby Teague, the most eloquent and buffoonish bard there is. I am the DM over at Paradise RPG for our flagship show, Advantage in Paradise, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got a couple other shows as well. Tim and Shannon Power Hour with Shannon every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and a new show that is going to be premiering most likely next week on Wednesday from myself, where I will be doing some cartography for people to take a look at, because I am a amateur map maker for all of my campaigns, and I'll be discussing lore and all that fun stuff. So come check it out. That'll probably be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all over the place at Paradise RPG. Paradise spelled Paradice. It's a pun. We thought it was funny. And
I like
it. Great time tonight.
Great. And I am Kieran, also known as Agent Number 1. You can find me here on Roll for Damage 3 times a week. If you're in Australia, it's Monday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday mornings. If you're in Eastern Standard Time, it's Monday mornings, Friday mornings, and Friday nights. You can also find me at Wonder and Blunder, as mentioned and linked and everything. Lastly, I just want to shout out a bunch of people who make this channel possible and do an incredible job and are kind of partner channels and everything of the like. First and foremostly is our amazing Artist Brepai. You can see the works. We got Era up there casting spooky spells. Brepai's great. Go check out her stuff. She's got like this amazing comic and everything. It's wild. There's also Wonders and Blunders. I've talked about them enough already. I'm so used to plugging them more than this. It's so funny. We also have Nerds of the West, our Australian partner channel, who do fun board games and things like play Doom with a Guitar Hero controller and other things. They're great. They play in some of our other games as well. And then I'm certain I'm missing something, but we also have a merch store, so you can check that out and get some coffee mugs and shirts. Who knows, maybe Sloop's favorite barrels will make their way there. And yeah, I also just want to thank the Roll for Damage crew for having us on and letting us play. I play here all the time, but this is the first chance I've had to DM a campaign with them. And it's been an absolute joy so far. So without further ado, I want to bring forward the man behind the curtain, Vegemite Dangerous.
Yeah.
Guys, what a fantastic game. The kaboom was possibly like my favorite thing about the whole session. Just the whole setup. Like the tension towards the setup and then waiting for it to go off. Perfect. Loved every second. I want to say thank you to everybody in chat who's been chucking us follows. Welcome to the guild hole, guys. If you really want to get involved with Roll for Damage, please join our Discord. We're going to be doing a full shake-up of things in our Discord pretty soon, as well as the merch store. So keep an eye out for that, or you can get all the latest updates through our Twitter. You can find it in the doobly-doos below us. But as we are wrapping up, what we do every time we wrap up is throw our love to somebody else in the community. And I've just spotted one of my favorite community members who I love playing D&D with. That is Mr. Pavlova Face. He is an Australian streamer. He's currently playing Guacamelee. He's played in several of my one-shots, and he is so much fun to play with. So we're going to go there and show him some love. You can do that by showing your favorite raid emote or your raid for damage emote if you're a subscriber. And you can catch us on Monday for EOD, the Empires of Darkness, where Agent will be playing Constantine. And that'll be at 9 p.m. AWST or 9 a.m.
It will be great time.
So yeah, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, chat.
Lovely.